Hi, my name is Helen and I'm a second year mature student at Gloucestershire University in England. My pen pal was a PhD professor and teacher and practitioner in Canada, which gave us the opportunity to talk about studies as well as social work practice. Firstly, I learned about the importance of First Nation population studies to social workers and social work students in Canada, and the impact that has on social work training and anti-discrimination and anti-oppressive practice. In Canada, there seems to be more teaching around cultural competency skills than we do in England, and I felt that was something that the British could perhaps learn from the Canadians. That could help improve British social work anti-oppressive practice around modern day ethnicity and diversity issues. There seems to be a difference in terminology that we use to describe people we support. In England, we use the term service user. In Canada, we use the term client. We agreed that client seemed a better use of language than service user, and it seemed to be less derogatory, and service users seemed to be more about making people seem dependent rather than client, which was more empowering and respectful as a term to be used. We talked about how remote some areas of Canada can be and the impact that this has on approaches to risk-taking and the decision-making process around this. We talked about how Canada has investigative reviews and we have serious case reviews that are similar. Different approaches being that investigative reviews look at systemic issues like poverty and ways to reduce the impact rather than trying to solve the unsolvable. Whereas in England, the serious case review seems to create a blame culture fueled by the media and political need to deflect attention from governmental decisions, looking at system change rather than the societal issues that are impacting on that. In England, I think we seem to do that, don't have a collective challenge to that system approach, which is something that we could do with changing. And it made me reflect on how perhaps a British social worker might approach the remote environmental conditions that some service users and social workers in Canada have to go through around risk. We then discussed the difference of governmental economic impact on social work, where Canada seems to be experiencing less budget cuts and less austerity measures than we seem to in the health and social care sector in England. It seems that Canada, the government values the health and social care sector more and sees the importance of supporting people's needs, and the British government seems to do. Both Canada and England focus on the strengths-based approach and the importance of resilience in facing everyday life problems, which we felt was good. We discussed how social work regulation seems to be similar in both countries. We have standards of efficiency. Canada has standards of practice. They seem to be around the same values, for example, anti-oppressive practice, social justice, looking at law, professionalism and communication issues. I felt that the religion seemed to have a greater impact on people's values in Canada than it seems to in England, having more influence around conflicting professional and personal values than I seem to have experienced in England so far. I also reflected on how the way Canada is divided into provinces and has different provincial laws to regulate social work. And that seems to be a similar process to devolution that we're going through in the UK at the moment. I think we concluded that we both felt that social work has a common global approach around supporting vulnerable at risk people from abuse, marginalisation and manipulation from dominant groups in society on a macro, meso and micro level. We seem to do that using theoretical perspectives that are the same but practising in different social, economic, political and legal environments. But we do seem to be aiming at the same goal of social justice, inclusion and fairness, equality within society for people. We seem to use the same theory, knowledge and skills, but seem to be adapting it to different environmental needs and demands depending on which country you're in. I personally felt that this shows a flexibility and depth of social work values, theories and skills that we're using to make a united difference to the dignity and worth of people's lives on a global scale. Thank you.